Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot Readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. You make this possible. You are a great community. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I just want to say we're at the top of the head. Saw Sarah yesterday, briefly, at the beginning of the afternoon, the 4 o'clock live streams over on Book Art Media. She came in just to say hello, kind of proof of life. I'm used to seeing her on video conference every day for years. I had not seen her since December 30th. And she got on there and she was like, "Don't cry. Don't cry. I'll cry. I'll start hacking." And it was like, "Okay, I won't." And then as soon as she left, I just lost it. But she's okay. She's slowly getting better. Thank you. So Sarah is making a little bit of progress here and there. It does mean there's going to be a delay, I'm afraid, on some of the chapters for my book. There was another set of chapters that was supposed to come out in a couple of days, but she does my final editing. She actually has the program where we format stuff. I bought the program, but she has it on her computer because we can both use it, but also she has a Mac. I don't have a Mac, and that's the only way it came. So there'll be a delay on that, I'm afraid, but we'll get it done. We'll get things going, but I just want Sarah to be okay. Mandy says, "I saw her too. I hope she continues to improve." Thank you, guys. Yes, Jalia, I'm kind of with you on that one. At least to just kind of poke that person just a little, just a little, just like that. It would make me feel better. All right. I could look at that, Noreen. I am here every single day of the year to take your 12 political questions, or as many as I can get to, and let me jump over here right now because I don't have a full 12 yet, but then again, I know we're going to the other stuff's going to come up. Today's question, there's a lot in today's question that's going to be vexing. We have been vexed. We are vexed. We will be vexed. So we just have to hold it together, I guess. And I'm just grabbing a couple things out of the chats. If you're watching this on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are there in order, and I timestamp them as I go. So you can get in, get out, and you don't have to listen to me jibber jab or gather questions or anything else. So, all right. Taylor B, I did have one left over from yesterday, but we're going to do that last. There's some other questions in here. And yeah, I'm actually just going to stop right here with the questions. Okay. All right. I'm just going to stop there. I'm just going to go through what I've got, and I'll see what kind of time we have and whatnot. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for everything. Okay. I'll fix this and then we will get going. I promise. It just can be a little difficult sometimes with the lighting. You know how it is. All right, here we go. Let's do this thing. 5 minutes in. Well, actually, I must mention, as I was saying, that we are feeling vexed with frustration, with things not happening the way we want them to. However, you guys have brought it up in the chat, but I want to just share this. I want us to have this communal moment of appreciation. God bless the Queen. She just stripped Andrew of his stripped him of his royal patronages and military affiliations. Boom. Thank you, Liz. Yes. Yes. Very pleased with that. So, oh, thank you, Mockingbird. I was a teenager all through the 80s, so I have a weakness. Oh, yeah, Sherry H. Ouch. Ooh, that had to hurt. Judy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Electra Storm says, I'm shocked because I thought Andrew was the favorite. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Oh, Diane B. saying Stewart Rhodes, leader of the Oaf Creepers, just arrested. I don't know anything about that. Huh. Anyway, okay. So let's take a moment and just enjoy this bit of justice in the world. Prince Andrew has just had things stripped, some of his honors stripped away from him by his mother, the Queen. It isn't even just justice. It is, he's always been so, I'm special, I'm entitled, literally. I have a title. That makes me special. You little people, you can't take me to court. You can't. And now it's like, oh, really? So actually, you know what? Let's start there. At 7:30, let's start with what's going to happen, Andrew. Oh, gosh, maybe you shouldn't have spent time with Epstein and his little friends. Leslie says, yay, Mama Elizabeth. Yeah. Doge David. Glad I finished your channel. Oh, thank you. Tuxedo Cat says it must have been heartbreaking for her. She has my respect. Well, that's kind of the thing is I didn't watch The Crown, but I did see a clip of it, the one where she was being coronated, and she said, you know, everyone must kneel before the Queen, before me. And he said, well, yes, everyone but me, of course. And she was just looking at him. And it dawned on him, it's like, no. No, I will be bowing. I will be kneeling as well. Okay, that's how this is going to work. When it comes to the monarchy, nobody is above. Oh boy. So what's going to happen to you? Oh, and they reiterated that Andrew will be paying for this lawsuit as a private citizen. Whew. Jelly says the crown must win, must always win. Hey, live by the monarchy, act like a fool. I'm getting this panicky feeling, but also this flustered kind of, this can't be happening. This can't be happening to me. This can't be. I feel sorry for kids. But here we are. On the defensive. Yep. Yeah, I'm still not sure why more of these women don't come forward with big names who were involved. Don Gubb says you only kneel to propose or tie a child's shoe. Then you kneel if you want to. And that's it. Oh, gosh. Tower. Back in the day, he's lucky it's not 600 years ago. 500, 600 years ago, that tower might be literal. That would be the queen shutting you down. Fruits of labor, as in get a job. The Queen of Swords, judgment. Yep. There's a queen. She passed judgment. Get a job. His world came crashing down. Even his mother shutting him up. Looking rather bleak. Thing is, though, he can't even. I mean, if he loses this civil case, he has to pay out money. Okay. Then what? If he went to prison for this, if he got out, there could be some kind of make amends, work in charity for some, I mean, comeback story, a showing of humility, something. But this is just to pay out money, and then what? He just disappears? I hate to say that a short prison term would be good for him, but in the long term, I wonder if it wouldn't. Joanne Frank says, is Andrew still on the royal payroll? I don't believe so. Actually, I don't know. He does get $29,000 a year in pension. But I want to say, doesn't he get, I read it the other day, doesn't he get, well, if he does all of his duties that he's just been stripped of, he gets like $300,000 a year or something. But he has to pay all this legal stuff himself. Hanged man. Rock in a hard place. Rounding up all of the wands. Secrets. Justice. Knight of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. He's going down like... Oh my gosh. Secret burden of the wands. Major secrets, major justice right in the middle. This is, I don't know that it's not necessarily, maybe it's law enforcement in the sense of what he will end up owing. But it did feel like he's being ground. He is and is about to be ground to just fine powder under the wheel of fate. Good. Oh boy. Leslie, I have not looked at his natal chart. Not recently. So I guess I could. Maria says karma at work. Yeah. Leslie says, I think Mama Elizabeth wants to get ahead of the story about to break. I can't believe the first card was a tower. TLC says, I wonder if it added to his and Fergie's marriage failure. True, Paula. Andrew just sold a $17 million Swiss chalet. But he owed some money. Like he had to, like, my understanding is he had to pay off $9 million in order to sell it. And so he did that. So he's got to pay that back. And he's got all these legal fees. And it's not going to last long. Is this why Fergie and he never remarried? Well, the judgment was brutal when they were married. 3 of Cups, 9 of Wands, partying. Oh. Okay, yeah. From what those cards are saying, if anyone's just blaming Sarah Ferguson for the dissolution of the marriage, or maybe just, it was some pressure from the Queen and it was Fergie just not being able to handle, royal duties. I'm not sure it was quite that simple. That does not look great for Andy. Life gave us lemons. I'm making lemonade, baby. All right. So, let me see here. True, he probably does have to pay her legal fees. That was Pamela. All right, so at 18 minutes in, here we go. All right, so we've enjoyed this moment of some measure of justice. So now we can move forward into things that are yet unresolved. Okay. Merrick Garland, I don't know if you saw it on Rachel Maddow. Merrick Garland, basically the DOJ, has now had the Mark Meadows criminal contempt of Congress referral for 32 days. They had Bannon's for 3 weeks. So more than 4 weeks now, and counting. Jeff Sitzman says, hopefully this is the first of many. Pluto return may not be great for all these powerful men. Could be. Pamela, yes, 32 days. Leslie says, sorry, what is a referral per the law? Basically, the January, Mark Meadows is refusing to answer his subpoena to come talk to the January 6th Select Committee. He said, no, I won't do it. So they said, fine, we'll hold you in contempt of Congress. And he was like, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. And they were like, okay. So we're referring you to the DOJ for prosecution for contempt of Congress. And he's like, fine. So now we've waited 32 days for the Justice Department to actually charge him with something. Hello. I see, here's the thing. And I've said this before, but I want to make this just crystal clear. I understand that prosecutors cannot come out and talk about cases. I totally get that. But the DOJ has a massive PR problem right now. Massive. There is a deep-seated feeling that the country, the democracy our country is based on, could fail. That's the fear that is out in the country. The DOJ should have better PR. Reassure people that we just come every day. We believe criminals should be held accountable. Just say it, look in the camera and just say it pointedly. How would that be? What, there should be like a spokesperson for the DOJ that we see regularly, who can come out 3 times a week or whatever and be like, I can't go into specifics. I can't go into specifics. I can't go into specifics. But the Department of Justice will hold those who have committed crimes accountable. Make no mistake. Something. Because right now, the fear, the anger is growing, and because underneath anger is fear. Fear is growing. Anger is getting higher. So, for all I know, what they're waiting for or what they're doing could be completely legitimate. It really could. Could be it's gone to some judge somewhere. Something has to be taken care of or signed off on, or it could be perfectly harmless. Or they could be working really, really hard. But this level of silence, I don't know. I mean, the president says he doesn't want to certainly get involved in the DOJ in their cases, but he still has enough knowledge about politics and public speaking and PR and all of this stuff to say, hey, don't you guys have a spokesperson? I'm not talking about I don't care what cases you're talking about, but don't you have a spokesperson? Tiffany Lilly says, sounds like you'd make a wonderful DOJ press secretary. I'm a germaphobe, but I'd try something. Pamela Bryant says, my fear is growing so great. I do not want these criminals to get away with destroying our democracy. And from what I've been getting, they won't. But we have been vexed. We are vexed. We will be vexed for a while because they are most vexing. Yeah. Suburban Housewife saying DOJ is part of the executive office. Come on, Joe. Yeah. Apple says, send a message. This won't be tolerated. Have a spine. Ten of Cups. Okay. That's a card for the readings. Positive. That's good. Mark Meadows. Electra Storm says he's been behind a bench. I don't think he ever did PR. Judges don't do that, so I guess we have to wait. But Biden is a politician. I talk to the PR department at the DOJ? Michael Grant says, you do not broadcast legal strategy when you plan to shove indictments far and afield. I think Garland's doing a good job. What? And knows more than we do, and why? I don't think it's broadcasting legal strategy to say we will hold those who have broken the law accountable. How is that? Electrostorm says he already had his press conference, and that is all we're going to get until they're ready. I'm just saying. You don't have to broadcast anything except the basic. There's probably a motto for the DOJ. There's probably some Latin motto or something, or you could gin it up. We are an institution that holds those who break the law accountable. I cannot talk about anything specific, but this is what we do. This is our mandate. This is what we work on every day. And we have offices across the country, and we have, or we have whatever. M. Kelby said he said that. He's not brash. My opinion, just my opinion, they need someone coming out saying that regularly. That's all. Okay. I know Electrostorm. He's press conference. But reassure. Tiffany, Lily, you've got the word there. Reassure. That's what it's really about. Reassure the people. That's it. Joanne says, I work in marketing. They need better messaging. You are correct. Thank you. Thank you. All right. That's America. That's the plan. Fill out the paperwork about his plan. This was to protect Emperor Trump. Tick tock, to break open the vault of secrets here. But we're afraid. I mean, I feel what I'm feeling, but it seems like I can feel the majority of energy around too. It's not just me. When this door the safe door is finally cracked open, is it going to be higher wisdom? Is it going to be a major change, or is it going to be whose vault did Geraldo open, and it was empty? I watched that. I remember watching that live. It was like, oh, this is exciting, and then it was so disappointing. It was like, oh. Okay. Good. We finally have a charge of seditious conspiracy. Is that because I know that they had just arrested the Oath Keepers leader, but they're charging him with seditious conspiracy? Finally? We might have to look at that. All right. I'll quit talking. Actually, see what I can come up with. Let's look at that. What's this jerk's name? Where are we? We're at 30 minutes in. Oath Keeper. Bag. Seditious. conspiracy. One of the things that Marjorie Taylor Greene has been pushing really hard is that, well, no one's been charged with sedition. No one's been charged with insurrection or sedition or, one thing that might just shut her up for just half a second before she gets going on to whatever. I like that. Mockingbird. Today's a good friggin' day, y'all. I like that. Mm-hmm. Whew. Oaf Creeper. I like that. The Oaf Creepers. What's this jerk's name? Does anybody know? Oaf Creepers. Seditious conspiracy, eh? You don't say. I think I just saw a name. No. Nanette Hardy says, take a deep breath, recite the Serenity Prayer. Things are happening. Joanne says his name is Creep. All right. Oh, thank you, Hux. Sorry. All right. Creep it is. Let's read on Creep. Stewart Rhodes. That was it. Thank you. All right. Okay, so Oaf Creeper Stewart Rhodes has been arrested and is being charged, finally, with seditious conspiracy. Thank you. Oops, come on, shuffle. You're supposed to. Stewart Rhodes. What does this guy look like? I'm curious. Oops. Oh. Oh, wow. He looks like a charmer. Share screen. Chrome tab. Oaf Creeper. Oaf Creeper leader charged with conspiracy. He is the founder of the far-right militia. And he was arrested on Thursday, charged with seditious conspiracy for organizing a wide-ranging plot to storm the Capitol and disrupt certification of Biden's electoral victory, federal law officials said. He's a former Army paratrooper who went on to earn a law degree at Yale. He's been under investigation since at least last spring. And against the advice of his lawyer, he sat down with FBI agents for an interview in Texas. He was at the Capitol on January 6, communicating by cell phone and a chat app with members of his team, many of whom went to the building. No evidence he entered the Capitol, but prosecutors have collected reams of evidence against them and the arrogant toddlers, including encrypted cell phone chats and recordings of online meetings. They've charged its members not only with forcing their way into the building in a military-style stack, but also with stationing an armed quick reaction force at a hotel in Virginia to be ready to rush into Washington if needed. Oh boy. Oaf Creeper Stewart Rhodes. What's going to happen to you? Creeper Stewart Rhodes. This day's just getting better and better. Cat Shepherd, I like that. Tiffany Lilly, real winner there. Card for the reading, Justice. Ding. Judgment. 2 of Pentacles. Hierophant. 2 of Cups. 9 of Cups. They have all the evidence they need. He was trying to he's trying to overturn the government. Overturn government. And at first I was like, does he cooperate or something? No, he doesn't even need to cooperate. They've got what they need. And he did go talk to them. That probably didn't help his case. Joanne Morris says, what exactly do these people want? Why are they so angry? They're not poor or hungry. Well, a lot of it's subconscious. A lot of it is a subconscious fear. Underneath anger is usually fear. And their fear is that they are being made obsolete. Their power is being taken away from them. For the last, how long? If you were a male, and certainly if you were a white male, you had a certain, police don't look at you twice. You get into schools, you can go anywhere you want, right? But now, all this talk about other women and other people and not Christian, well, it's not, don't get me started on that. Their idea of Christian. All of that, their power's being taken away from them, and they're terrified. Because what else do they have to fall back on? If we go to a full meritocracy, and it doesn't matter what your skin color is. If tomorrow, if right now I could flip a switch, skin color doesn't matter. Meritocracy. Are you a nice person? Do you have an education? How much do you give to charity? You start being judged by this stuff. Rural bunker boy with an arsenal is nobody. Ten of Swords. I only felt like I needed to pull 3 cards. They have the evidence. It's not even going to be hard to like deliver. They're dead to rights. They've got him dead to rights. That's what I've got. So it's also one of the reasons you keep hearing the P word. Stuff that certain people like Epstein actually did. But some of these far-right nuts will accuse random Democrats of it with zero proof. It's because that is the most heinous thing you can do. I think both sides can agree that is the most heinous thing you can do. And if they can slap that heinous thing onto the leaders of this new group, then it justifies their hatred. Because if you walked up to them and said, "Are you racist?" they'd say, "No, of course not. I'm not racist." "Are you sexist?" "Of course not. Of course I'm not sexist. I married a woman." Anyway. Okay. DOJ, seditious conspiracy. Well, Stewart Rhodes, co-founder of the Oaf Creepers. Thank you for that name, by the way. What it feels like is, take care. You're done. You're just done. They've got it all. They've got it all laid out. Okay. 4130. I better get my skates on. Okay. 4130. Now this is just ridiculous. New York Times is reporting that the R.N.C, the Republican National Convention, whatever, commission, whatever, the Republicans, the official Republican people. The New York Times is reporting that they have decided they're going to pull out from presidential debates. There it is. The Republican National Committee, it's like the next line down. The Republican National Committee says it will require candidates to pledge to not participate in debates run by the Commission on Presidential Debates. What would replace them, if anything, was unclear. Really? Really? Uh-huh. Okay. So my thinking is there are a whole lot of there's a whole lot of time, and I'm thinking potentially a whole lot of convictions between here and the next presidential debates. And I wonder if the R.N.C will be begging to be part of debates by 2024. I know. Pauline France, why are they chicken? Alison Jacobs is like, what? I agree. Meme to you says that's going to be cute. We can move on without them. Go for it, guys. Hello, guys. Yoy. Frida Smith says they want to replace it with trial by combat. I wish that was totally ridiculous. All right, R.N.C. So you're not going to be a part of the presidential debates if it goes to the regular presidential debate commission, huh? Really? Who else wants to again see Donald Trump moving like a shark behind Hillary Clinton? Well, she's trying to talk. Presidential debates. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, make your noise. Make your noise now. Go ahead. You're above it. You're beyond it. You're better. You're greater. You are. There's a whole lot between now and then. The next 2 years. It's more than 2 years until the next presidential debates. 1, 2. Yeah, 2.5. Not quite 3, but 2.5. 2.5 years. It's a whole lot. M. Kelby is suggesting jousting matches. Yes, but that's one of the ways that Henry VIII ended up insane. And besides, Marjorie Taylor Greene would love that. And far-right communication. We're being silenced. I don't quite understand the mainstream media's against this is all far right stuff and use the guise of the Republicans to explain your, and he's got his head down, he's doing this thing, he's just meanwhile that's aggressive law enforcement and that's headed your way, and they're pretending if they just sit down and work that he'll like pass by them. Or so will there be a debate between a Republican and a Democrat and a Republican and a Democratic? Could we have picked a name for our party that wasn't quite so close to the actual word? Anyway, Kelpie says, man, I wish I could see these comments. Will there be a presidential debate in 2024? There we go. Will there be a presidential debate in 2024? Oh, ick. The energy's not nice. Oh, the energy's really not nice. Queen of Swords. Okay, that could be a person asking the questions. Okay. Page of Pentacles, Moon, Page of Wands. This is just right-wing chaos. Oh, guys, I read about that at the beginning. Okay, okay, guys. Have fun with that. Okay. I think they're going to be in disarray. I think they're going to be problems. Joanne's are just deflecting so people start talking about other stuff. It's quite possible. Yeah. So, Warrior Witch, hey, how's it going? It is 48:45. Oh dear. Speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's have a facepalm moment, shall we? Marjorie Taylor Greene just said, "Don't think about this too long. You'll have a stroke." Okay. Just hear it lightly and let it go. Or I want your precious brain matter. Do not let her crazy. Don't try to make this make sense, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene, quote, "Scientists have been wrong over and over and over since the beginning of time. Three cards just to check in on her. I'm surprised. I'm guessing she was in a far-right crazy forum of some nature where no one questioned her, because I'm surprised. My first question to her would have been, when do you think the beginning of time was? Thank you, Warrior Witch. Scientists have been wrong over and over and over since the beginning of time. It's science. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, she is happy as a pig in slop. She is just rolling around in the mud and heaven knows what else. Oh, she is just enjoying herself. She's having a grand old time. Justice card. Michael Grant. Scientists and the scientific method require experimentation. Does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a clue? No. That would be it. Scientists, the scientific method. You experiment. You find out things. You try to figure out what that means. You might be wrong. You might be right. So you give it to your peers to review and to see if that thing if they can reproduce it, if it makes sense to them. This is how science works. Scientists have been wrong over and over and over and over since the beginning of time because that's a scientific method, you pinhead. Truth. Rabble-rousing. Seriously, someone hit you in the head with a wand? Decisions. Scientific decisions to find the truth. Bye. Guys, Crystal Tree says, I'll take who is clueless for 1,000, Alex. Oh, boy. So anyway. 5230. Lindsey Graham. Oh, Lindsey. Oh, Lindsey. I don't know what to do with you. I really don't. I'd like it to turn out that, maybe he was a decent person after all, but you just prove me wrong every time. So you remember Lindsey coming out against Trump on January 6th, January 7th. You guys remember that? Yeah. And then you remember Lindsey realizing that Trump still had power. And of course, Lindsey Graham, his whole method of being in the world in politics is to find the strongest alpha he can find and be that person's best beta. So then he went crawling back to Trump. Fine. News. Lindsey Graham demands Mitch McConnell bend his knee to Donald Trump. Warrior Witch says, oh, we're hitting all the fun repubs today, aren't we? Oh, yeah. Guys, Crystal Tree's a follower. Yes, he is. Dear great Gussie. So you're going to go tell McConnell that he needs to make nice with Donald Trump. I've got a little bag of gummy bears in the other room that has each of those gummy bears has more spine than Lindsey Graham. Yes. Way back when, those of you who are mystery science theater watchers, there was a famous moment in one of the episodes where it was a Japanese monster movie of some nature. Or no, I don't even know if it was a monster movie. Might have just been, I think it was Prince of Space. Was it Prince of Space? Anyway, when they translated it, they dubbed it into English. they gave characters Americanized names. So the main character became Ken. All right. And then there was this fight scene in a warehouse. And of course, you know, the boxes and the movers and the things, and he's fighting, and you know, this whole thing. There's heroic music going, and an ongoing thing in that episode became, they tried to kill him with a forklift. They tried to kill you guys. I know that's a long, that was a long walk for a reference, but that's how my brain works. Oh boy. Don Gubb says, I just frightened my little bird by laughing out loud. Oh, I'm glad. They tried to kill you with a shaman. Did that work? I don't want to use what they actually tried to kill people with. So it was like the shaman, the lectern. They tried to kill you with the lectern. They tried to kill you. And if anybody thinks that if they had gotten hold of Pence, that they wouldn't have done anything to him. If anyone thinks if they had gotten hold of Pelosi, that they wouldn't have done anything to her. Nobody would have touched a hair on her head. There's a bridge in Brooklyn I'd love to sell you. And once that started, how far would that have gone? Two of Pentacles, death. Two of Wands, temperance, and Four of Wands. Oh yes, temperance. You should make nicey nice. Communicating. They're all communicating on the same far right, orange tinged page. Temper what you do to make this Mar-a-Lago. This is Trump's base. This is they tried to kill you in the Congress. Oh my gosh, I never agree with McConnell, but if his response is to tell Rumple Thinskin to go whistle, I'd have to agree with that. Oh, I'm glad I've got you laughing, guys. That makes me happy. Seriously, that makes me really happy. Ace of Wands, Six of Cups. We have to come together to fight the Democrats. I'm not getting what McConnell is actually going to do. There's nothing here that's saying that, other than staring at Lindsey like, I'm not getting what he's going to do. But yeah, that's all I got. 1 hour. 1 hour in. Oh boy. All right. 1 hour in, and the House has passed the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act. Not really surprising. No House Republicans supported the bill. Surprise. Legislation now goes to the Senate. Yeah. So I want to have a quick look at that before we go into what's going to happen in the Senate, because Sinema, where we'll get next, is Kyrsten Sinema weighing a Senate speech against changing the filibuster for voting rights. I also have polling information of her. It's back from the end of November, but it's the latest one we've got. And then well, I guess this is actually voting rights bill hits the Senate. Okay, let's just do this. Let me just move this up because I think it's all of a piece. Then we'll look at Sinema. All right, so there are many words I'm about to read to you, but I think it's good information. Okay, so the House has passed House Resolution 5746, the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act. The vote was 220 to 203. No House Republicans supported the bill. The legislation now goes to the Senate. Okay. The House did pass. The House, I should just put passed here. Put this in past tense. Passed a bill containing both sweeping federal election reform and beefed up Voting Right Act provisions. Now, this is where it gets a little Senate-y. Because the bill was sent to the Senate as a message from the House, it will not be subject to an initial filibuster by the GOP, and it will be debated on the floor. Instead, the Senate will confront its raging debate over the filibuster when Majority Leader Schumer moves to shut down debate. Schumer wrote in a memo obtained by Politico to some Senate Democrats that said the Senate will finally debate voting rights legislation, and then every senator will be faced with the choice of whether or not to pass the legislation to protect our democracy. So Schumer's trying to get everybody on record, is what it means. Oh, Sinema had a speech today? Oh, I'm sure it was lovely. Margaret Jaddock, Sinema's speech today said she was in favor of the bills, but is refusing to change filibuster rules. Surprise. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, boy. Jane says no House Republicans voted for it, so I guess that means Cheney and Kinzinger. That I don't know. I imagine the great Google would ask. Great Google, we beseech thee. Oh, yes, Empress. We started there. So, the voting rights bill in the Senate. And I think someone mentioned something a headline I'd seen somewhere. Is it one of the senators has come down with COVID, and so a Democratic senator will be there, which just hurts the numbers even more. Dr. Storm says Cheney voted against it. Yeah. Thank heavens Cheney is on our side with the January 6th committee in wanting actual justice. But beyond that, we won't like her. No. She's not like, oh, great, a Republican we can talk to, we can reason with, no. One topic, that's it. Voting rights. Swords are voting, and this is some people trying to vote. Oh boy, son. Two of Cups. Nine of Wands. Three of Swords. 10 of Wands. trying to end some systemic racism and allow people to vote. Democrats pulling together over this, but the Republicans know that if there's actual free and fair voting, they know they're not going to win. So they know they won't win. But this, that is all of these. They're burdened by it, but it feels like it's being cleared out. What is going on here? This isn't as straightforward as I assumed. John R. Lewis, Voting Rights Act in the Senate. That doesn't bode well at all. That is a big old death card for the reading. Queen of Cups, Nine of Cups, Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, no, trying to allow people to vote, but there are too many. Dead as a doornail. Republican plan. I'd love to say that this means that the Republican plan will be dead as a doornail, but voting. I'm just not getting good cards on this. We're gonna have to wait. I keep getting that justice is coming for the Congress. And when justice hits the Senate, maybe that will give us a window to pass a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Maybe not. Yes, political readings only, I'm afraid. Electrostorm says, we need to wait for the commission. I'm convinced the energy will change to our side. Very likely. Why are you making noises? Strength. Republicans out in the cold. Feels like a Hail Mary pass. This feels like Republicans politically drowning. I'm getting Republicans, politicians in their suits and ties, and it's dark, and they're in the water, and they're struggling. It's a metaphor. So, Marie Henson, we lose half the Senate then? I don't know. I don't even think it's necessary. I don't even know if that would work, because if you can't get rid of the filibuster, you need, under normal rules, you need 60%. So that's taking out a lot. That would have to, that you would need to take out a lot of different Republicans to get that. But I keep getting, it's going to have a huge impact, but I don't know. That's just what I get. Okay. 110. Quick look at Sinema, because I don't know. We've had such good news today, and I guess it's a good time to look at her because she puts my teeth on edge. Sinema did her speech against changing the filibuster. So I went and looked at her polling numbers, and the last information I could find was November 22nd. So it's been nearing 2 months. Yep, guys, we looked at that. So November 22nd, Sinema's favorability polling in Arizona. Who has a favorable view of Sinema? Among Democrats, 42% of Democrats in Arizona have a favorable view of Sinema. Republicans in Arizona, 48% view Sinema favorably. Which is Sinema going to face long-term consequences for her dumb Azzery in the Senate? That's what I'm looking at. Oh, Diane B is pointing out that seditious conspiracy in 1980, there were Puerto Ricans. Excuse me. Seditious conspiracy. In 1980, Puerto Ricans were found guilty, got up to 90 years in prison for seditious conspiracy. Now we're talking. Guys, Crystal Tree says she's cashing in now before she gets the boot. Something. Her likelihood of being primaried is really high. But from what I've seen, there's just no way to recall her or do anything until then. But all right, frustrating lady. She feels put upon. People attacking her. Just ignore them. You know, there are people who go into Congress and come out and aren't hated. But she will be. Tox Kazim says, Sinema's driving me crazy. Have a seat. Have a seat with the rest of us. Oh, Diane B says 10 others have been charged with Rhodes. Is seditious conspiracy? All right, Sinema. Yeah, they love you on the right. Knight of Pentacles. Strength. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. Hermit. Take that money. Take the money. Anyone trying to stop her, shut them up. She does what they want. And then gets on her democratic course and then says, oh, no, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. I have to look at it. It has to be low. We're thinking about the long term. We can't get rid of the filibuster. We can't do this democratic stuff. It's about the money. You don't need me to tell you that. What happens to her? What happens to her? What happens to her? Chaos. I don't know why I'm getting, she doesn't take good care of herself. I don't know where that came from. 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Yeah, the money dries up. If the Democrats can win bigger in the midterms, they don't really need her. So why would all these Republicans give her money? There are others. She's not going to be. She's not going to be in this job long term. I'm just not getting that. Yeah, she's taking the money and running. She'll take the money, and then she's just going to be bitter for years. That's what I'm getting. She's just going to be bitter. People are awful, and no, you are. When this many people are angry at you, maybe it's not all of them that are the problem. Just a thought. Yeah, people voted for her, and goodbye. Oh, 117. 117. McCarthy plans drastic actions to institutionalize Trumpian priorities if he becomes House Speaker. And let me reiterate for anybody who if there's one person here who hasn't heard this, me repeat this because I'm so appalled by it. McCarthy, who actually said, and when Nancy Pelosi hands over the gavel, it'll be hard for me not to hit her with it. You are scum. You are the scum of the earth. Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah, Donna, this day has been busy. Oh, goodness gracious. Diane B. Federal grand jury in D.C. returned an indictment yesterday, unsealed today, charging 11 defendants with seditious conspiracy and other charges for crimes related to the breach of the U.S. Capitol. Yes. Guy says the only thing good about her being there is McConnell isn't in charge. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But McCarthy plans drastic actions to institutionalize Trumpian priorities. I pledge allegiance to the Fuhrer. McCarthy, so are you going to get your chance to institutionalize Trumpian priorities? What are Trumpian priorities? Fries? Extra large fries? No one can use long words anymore? McCarthy. Ace of Swords. That's voting. That's the truth. That crown, it doesn't feel like the sword of truth is piercing the crown. It feels like he's holding up his power to give Trump a crown. Ugh. We had a revolution. We don't have kings. We don't do that. Of course they did. Tischel is saying CNN Supreme Court just blocked the Biden admin vaccine rules for large businesses. Of course they did. That's the Supreme Court. Most vexing, but there's good news today too. Judgment, 7 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 4 of Cups, Empress. Power of women. Power of women. Cups. He's sitting there refusing, stomping his little feet. Power of women. A lot of the far right's going to be removed. And this is fantasy. He's got total fantasy about what the midterm election is going to look like. Center, this is a burden of the far right. It's also removal of all these far right. And then he's just surrounded by even more women. Reading on McCarthy, Warrior Witch. I had to mute because the boss walked in. I'll be very quiet. He's just surrounded by women. It just bugs him. Yeah. Supreme Court is its own thing. Its own frustrating. Oh boy. Oh, I'm glad. I love when I can make you guys laugh. That seriously, that makes my day. So, yay. All right. Success. All right, 122. Noreen had a question. 122.30. Haven't looked at Boris in a while. He's still there? Oh, is he still there? Hasn't he been there for like 20 years? Oh boy. Warrior Witch is going to watch McCarthy as midterm election results come in. Watching him cry will give me life. Oh, wow. All right. Will Boris resign is the question. Could you look at the UK? Will Boris resign? Will there be a new leader from the opposing Labour Party? I've forgotten. Which is Boris Labour or Conservative? I thought he was. I must be mistaken. And Boris. I'm going to cover up my thinning hair by going through a wind tunnel every morning to make it fluff up. Boris. Conservative. Oh, I thought so. I give. Thank you. Tories. Yay. Boris. How many kids does this guy have? Doesn't he have like 8 kids or something crazy? Diane B is saying one of the creepers arrested was Jessica Watkins, who might be the pipe bomber. Boris has his worries. I love that. he's got his worries. And didn't they just have a party or something? They're supposed to be quarantining or whatever, and he just had a party. The legislators just had a party. They keep having these gatherings. Six of Wands, Four of Swords, Ace of Cups, Five of Cups, Three of Cups. Well, it's not a straightforward shot. This is, he got this far of all victory, but is he, I don't know what's going on, I'm afraid. I was married to an Englishman for 20 years, but it's been a while since I had any idea what was really going on. I've been divorced for a couple of years too. Is he not getting a lot done? Somebody's raining on his parade, and it looks like he's going to lose pretty relatively soon. Like, I don't know when the next election is. Then, guys, don't you guys call? It's like the prime minister can call for an election at a fortuitous date for him. Yeah. Brenda C says Boris has been asked to resign. By whom? Is he likely to? Is this a serious thing? We've asked Kirsten Sinema to resign. Hasn't helped us much. The public. He's trying to knock it down, but he hasn't. It's like he's walking in all happy, victorious, and then it's just he can't get stuff done. He's trying to knock down what the opposing party's doing. They're raining all over on his parade, and then they win over him or something, or they. If he steps down, I imagine his deputy prime minister becomes prime minister. But until the next election, oh, sorry. Suburban housewife saying Boris messed up COVID a lot. Brexit has been a huge mess. Where was that? Holly in France. COVID response messed up. Michael Grant says maybe Boris and Andrew can retire on Little St. James Island. Again, I'm trying to kick everything down, but other side's pretty happy. Yeah, raining on his parade. The other side's happy. He's not going into a position of strength. He's going into a position of complete weakness. That's what I'm getting. I hope that helps. Okay, hang on. It gets so dark in here sometimes. Let me see if I can move this up. That's a little bright. Let's move this down to about there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Might actually be able to see me and the cards. All right. Okay, 1:30. Todd Sell was asking what will come of those who forged the electoral voting information. Did you guys see this morning? Was it this morning? No, it must have been on like I watch highlights from the night before on MSNBC. On YouTube, I watched the highlights the next day, and someone caught up with one of the people who'd signed the fake electoral thing, and he was perfectly justified until the guy he was talking to was like, "So what do you think gave you the right?" And then it was like, "Oh, well, who called you? How did you get involved in this? Who called you to get involved? How did you know where to show up?" Well, you'll have to talk to the head of the, I forget what. You don't know how you got there? You don't know how you found out so who called you? Who did you? Suddenly he didn't want to talk. So are these blankety blanks who forged election documents, pretending they were the electoral delegates when they weren't. And it was obviously coordinated because of how many of the documents were the exact same thing, same font, same spacing, same wording, same everything. So will there be some serious, if they can put that poor woman in Georgia in prison for 5 years for filling out a provisional ballot when she wasn't sure if she was able to vote or not. They can put these jerks, every one of them, all these Republicans, Trump supporters, they can put them in prison. Ace of Cups, Temperance, Five of Swords, Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles. Feels like they're dropping. I'm so sorry. Taylor B, that was Texas. Oh, thank you. Not Georgia. Thank you. They have the evidence. The evidence there. And this feels like the people who sign those documents, people who organize those documents, they're trying to hum and haw and what have you. But I'm feeling these things are trying to juggle, just falling to the ground. Biden won. This should have been peaceful, but they tried to muddy the waters. This is insult. This is an insult to democracy. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. The evidence is right there, and you sign. Is this your signature? We have witnesses. You were there. You're done. You've nothing to. There's nothing. You have nothing. You don't have a leg to stand on. You barely have that leg to stand on, and you're about to fall over. That's what I'm getting. So, all right. That's going to do it for me for today. No, it's not. 134 in a bit. 134.30. The Seditious conspiracy $12, 11, 12. How many? Is it 11 others? 12 total? I can't remember. 10, 11, or 12. You tell me. Is this getting the boulder of justice rolling on January 6th? 11. Thank you, guys. Seditious Conspiracy 11. Getting the boulder of justice rolling on January 6th. Diane Beesus Maxwell's previously fought the unsealing of the legal names of the John Does, but a letter from her lawyer dated January 12th notes that Maxwell does not wish to further address detailed objections. Might have to look at that tomorrow. All right. The Seditious Conspiracy 11. It's this getting the boulder of justice rolling. Because there's no Trump to pardon anybody. Diane Beesus Ghoulaine is no longer fighting unsealing of the John Doe names. Okay, all right. Okay, well, all right. Hang on. Seditious Conspiracy 11. 6 of Wands. Oh yeah, they had their. We're gonna have our far right victory. Page of Wands. Wheel of Fortune, Magician, Ace of Cups. Gosh, I got this energy. It's pulling me toward Ghoulaine. It's like, no, I'm trying to look at these guys. Their message. It was a matter of time. This is kind of sovereign citizen garbage. Oh, and they end up really worried. A lot of people end up worried. This cup is getting bigger and it's rising higher. And this is the committee. I'm getting a mental image of the committee, like on a it's like a round thing, but it rose out of the floor and it's just getting higher and higher. 11 Oaf Creepers. B says it's still up to the judge. Okay. Mm-hmm. Seditious Conspiracy 11. So, because some of them you would think would turn on politicians, bigger names. My gosh, there's so much to read on. I'm out of time. Wheel of Fortune. There's one of them. Is one of them the bomber? Is the Ghoulaine Maxwell names? There's so much, and I'm out of time. 6 of Wands, Page of Wands, Ace of Cups. It's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. January 6th commission. Bigger, 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 higher, higher, higher. We have good stuff coming. I squeak in. I should not be doing this. 1:30, 1:39:30. Ghoulaine. Unsealing names. 3 cards. Ghoulaine. So is the judge going to unseal the names? My gosh, there's so much going on. Oh, these guys think they've been sitting pretty. They do what they want. 5 of taking the poor, abusing them. Oh, that whole transporting across state lines. They're going to fight. I think some of these Johns, you know who they are? They're going to fight to try to keep this quiet. Fighting. But I don't have the judge, because some of these people would be in so much trouble. I don't have a judge here making a decision. I shouldn't even. Brenda C. The astrology. I don't have time. I'm sorry. Ghoulaine, I'm out of time. Women, Sword of Truth, Page of Pentacles, who were paid. If they unseal it, women can come forward and start organizing stuff against these men. I'm not getting a judge saying no. But I'm afraid it is 2:00. I've got to go. But thank you so much for being here. My gosh, there's so much. We got through so much today. And there's even more. But I will be back tomorrow. Sarah said that she will be at the 4:00. It's 1:59 here in Chicago in 2 hours. Sarah said she's going to try to be at the beginning of the creative sprints over on Book Art Media. Just at least just for the beginning again, maybe be able to sit there for a few minutes. Fingers crossed she's okay. And so I want to make sure I'm ready for that. And but I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm here 365 days of the year. Unfortunately, I do not have more than 2 hours. So please take care. Told you there were good days ahead, and there are still more good days ahead. All right. So take care. See you later. I'll see you tomorrow.